very demanding and it's very professionally, I mean, in all senses, it helps build a lot of soft and hard skills that the general MBA program may or may not have.
We just had a broad, global perspective, which made everything better. The experience of the faculty to guide you through those steps is really invaluable.
From my perspective, the single greatest value is it's a very real, very practical experience that gives the students a chance to work on something that actually matters. It's not a fake case, it's not a hollow exercise. The assignments they have are for real organizations that are trying to accomplish something in the real world.
The professor helped us by giving us some very useful insights about the methodology to use for analyzing the client issue and for presenting, to communicate with the client, manage the client relations.
The most important thing for me, apart from great recommendations, was the feedback they could give to us given their great experience.
The advice they gave us were just awesome.
The project that I'm working on with my HEC and Wharton colleagues is to build a secondary boarding school in Elmina town in Ghana.
The main goal of this school is to build the future leaders of West Africa.
Wharton students and the HEC students have had the opportunity to see what it's like to work across the time zones, and interestingly in the projects with them, we've done projects that are located in neither of the school's territories, so that they've all had to fly and meet in a third country, in Africa someplace or in Europe someplace. So we've added another level of complexity with them to a project.
They have to work as a virtual team. They meet physically together for 2 weeks, 1 week in Ghana and 1 week here, but in between they have to learn how to work virtually and how to succeed working virtually so that they actually achieve the client's, so that they meet their commitment to the client in terms of delivery.
The time spent trying to figure out what are people good at, what are they interested in at.
A lot of them had never even been to Africa before. To travel to Ghana to get a very first-hand perspective of how things are done there.
There's all the stress that is involved with giving a presentation to a client who is going to use the information and is looking for value and will implement the results and the suggestions if they are supported really well and the client is convinced. That's the same as the real world.
My partner and I are actually exceptionally surprised at how in-depth the market research and the overall plan actually ended up being. So we're very, very pleased.
You are going to get top-notch quality work from very bright students, and you typically get students who are very passionate about these projects because they're usually socially driven, and so you definitely get a good end package.
It's a project with the EIB, which is a financial arm of the Europe.
We were impressed by the final result, by the final presentation. The recommendations are very interesting. Quite a few of them, in my opinion, are relevant, and I do hope that we will be able to act on them. We still have to discuss them, but I would say that the work of the student fully met our expectations. For the client organization, whether it's a for-profit company or a non-profit, they're going to get consulting value in the form of creative energy and intelligence and hard work and sweat equity from the students that's probably worth 10 times what they will pay for it, and a whole set of creative ideas they wouldn't otherwise get if they tried to solve the problem on their own.
It's one thing to say that your team is diverse, but when you are actually living in two separate places and your client is probably in a third place, and you've got this group of students who are engineers and mathematicians and finance people and marketing people. I mean, that's just not something that you necessarily find every day.
For me, the GCP was one of the best experiences in my MBA, actually.
They will be better able to go out into the world and operate in the world economy more effectively.
It's going to be the hardest course you will take, but you will get more out of it than any other course in your MBA program, whether at HEC or whether at Wharton. That's been our experience over these 34 years.